Let's talk about selling a home in Zeeland, Michigan. This is a thin inventory market on the Ottawa County side of the metro, and it runs at its own pace, slower than the towns just east of it. In this brief, pricing to the comps, how long homes actually take, what buyers here pay for, condition, and timing. Start with where your buyer is coming from. Zeeland sits in Ottawa County about 30 minutes west of downtown Grand Rapids and roughly 10 minutes from downtown Holland, just inland from Lake Michigan. Your buyer pool splits between Lakeshore employers and Grand Rapids commuters, and that split is worth understanding before you set a price. Here's the number that shapes everything else. The typical Zeeland listing goes pending in about 32 days. Hudsonville, 20 minutes east, does it in 13. That's not a knock on Zeeland. It's a smaller pool of buyers moving through a smaller pool of homes, and it means a pricing mistake here costs you weeks, not days. So here's my honest take. In a 32-day market, the price cut you make in week 6 almost never earns what the right price in week 1 would have. Buyers watch days on market, and a stale listing invites a low offer before anyone has walked through the door. Which brings us to comps. Price to what actually closed in the last 90 days, same Zeeland Public Schools attendance area, same square footage band, same age of home. Zeeland is small enough that one unusual sale can pull an automated estimate off by tens of thousands, so work from closed sales, not an algorithm. Here's the ground you're working with. Zeeland is a small city, about 5,600 people. The typical home is valued near $371,000. Listings go pending in roughly 32 days, and downtown Grand Rapids is about 30 minutes out. On price, Zeeland runs about 11% above the Kent County median across the metro. The typical home here is near $371,000 against Kent County's $335,000 median, which is the metro benchmark, not Ottawa County's. That premium belongs to the Lakeshore location and the job base. It is not a markup you get to apply to a house that hasn't been touched in 20 years. Know who you're competing with. There are roughly 24 active new construction communities around Zeeland, with builders like Bauman, Intera, and Bosgraaf, and new builds start in the mid-300s. Downtown is in its own build-out too, 4 mixed-use projects, plus about $10 million of street reconstruction. A buyer weighing your home against something brand new is comparing condition first. So what do Zeeland buyers actually pay up for? 5 things come up again and again. Move-in ready condition with no deferred maintenance, updated mechanicals, roof and windows, a main floor primary suite, a finished lower level with proper egress, and a 3-stall garage or real outbuilding space. Hit 4 of those 5 and you price at the top of your comps. Your price isn't judged in a vacuum either. Buyers shopping this corridor line Zeeland up against Hudsonville, Jenison, and Holland. Zeeland sits below Hudsonville, effectively even with Jenison, and above Holland. That's a tight band. So a few $1,000s of overpricing drops your home straight into someone else's comp set. Now condition. You don't need a remodel, you need a house that asks nothing of the buyer. Neutral paint, updated light fixtures, a deep clean, and anything visibly at end of life either replaced or priced in. Then stage the 3 rooms people actually remember: kitchen, primary bedroom, and living room. Here's the part sellers argue with me about. In a market that takes a month, condition is what shortens it. Every item you leave undone gets found at inspection anyway, and then it gets deducted at the buyer's number instead of yours. Timing. Late spring into early summer is still the strongest listing window on the Lakeshore. And this June, Ottawa County's median sale price ran about 8% above last year on flat sales volume. Active listings are up close to 10%. And 30-year rates have held near 6.5%. More competition for you, steady demand, and buyers who are picky rather than panicked. So here's the playbook I run with Zeeland sellers. Price to closed comps, not to your neighbor's list price. Spend 2 weeks on condition and photography before you go live. List midweek so your first weekend is your strongest. Set showing windows instead of taking every request. And if you're past the 30-day mark with no offer, that's a price conversation, not a patience conversation. Selling in Zeeland is won before the sign goes in the yard. Steady demand, thin supply, and buyers who take their time, which rewards the seller who prepares and quietly punishes the one who guesses. Let's build your number and your prep list first, then go win your first weekend.